Okay, we are alive, I think. Yeah, I see the little red screen. It's live. Hi, everybody. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, well, Drew, I always butcher. Was it your last name is what? Esh. Say your last name. Say your name.
It's
Introduce yourself.
Ish. It's
Ish.
it's pronounced as if it was spelled ISH.
The Ish factor.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Ish factor. Yeah,
the Ish factor.
it's so funny how my last name gets butchered on the regular. If people hear it instead of read it, and they know it from ear sight. It's usually when they get it right. But then when people like after they start reading it, they start pronouncing it wrong again. It's so funny. It's like even though they got it right maybe the first time after they met me because I told them how to pronounce it. Give it a couple of months, you know what I mean? And they're gonna be like all pronouncing it wrong again. That is where Mr. E comes from. Just so everybody
Well,
wonders. Yeah.
yeah, Edward Nigma, Mister E.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do love that the Riddler. He's actually my of the Batman villains. He's actually always been my favorite since I was a child. I used to love the Riddler. I know he was not the coolest of the characters from the 1960s series, but I grew up watching that, and I always thought that he was just a little bit wacky. You know what I mean? And I just I really liked that.
Well, I like I like some of the Bruce Timm, Paul Denny. How they took a lot of those kind of more campy Batman villains, and then especially like someone like Mister Freeze, who I love. Mister Freeze actually got killed in the Batman. What was it, the Robin miniseries that I think it was the Robin miniseries 3, the third one that Chuck Dixon wrote, and the Joker had his little flower lapel, like boom, and he sprayed acid on the mask and he died, and then you know a few years later we had the animated series and they brought back Mr. Freeze and kind of made it. Well, he was a hell of a lot less campy
Yeah.
and he ended up becoming one of my favorite Bat villains. So
Yeah, the Mr. Freeze in the animated series was well done. He was actually better than I expected when he was introduced. I was all like, "Wow, they really kind of like gave this character a lot more depth and made him,
oh yeah,
a little bit more human." You know what I mean? I thought that was because I remember. I mean, my impression from the comic book when I read Mr. Freeze is that I was a little kid. You know what I mean? But my impression was that Mr. Freeze was like crazy before he got injured. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
he was just a madman. He was a mad scientist, and then he got injured because he was a mad scientist. You know what I mean?
weird science.
Yeah,
All right. So, but no, okay. So you're Drew Ish.
I
And
am.
of course, I am Antonio Bryce, and I am a comic book writer, which you are as well.
Yes.
And I also podcast, so you can catch my normal podcast, which is the Jill Stream. We do Wire Wednesday, so we'll be doing the Wire this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be taking the audio from this particular stream and dropping it on my podcast. It's anchor.fm/Akari Press. And you can also catch us. Just type in Akari Press on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're also on like Google, Stitcher, and we're on like 13 platforms. I mean, yeah, we just joined Apple Podcast, not Apple, Amazon Podcast a couple weeks ago, and been getting decent response over there. So that's cool.
Nice.
And we are also streaming on Facebook on Planet EJOBN. Salute to the good folks over there. Leave us a like, folks. We always appreciate you participating. If you have a question for Drew as we showcase his comic and talk about all his cool stuff, please hit us up and we'll get it. And if you are on one of the other platforms, because we're on like Twitch and Periscope and stuff streaming as well, and you just want to hop directly in the chat, it is youtube.com/Akari Press. Okay, Drew.
Yes.
It's been a while. Let's see.
It has.
What were you here last year? I think.
Yeah, it was probably close to about a year ago. It was
Yeah.
I was on my we were doing Hero of the Cleansing, and I think I was in the middle of that campaign. So so it was probably about a year ago because that campaign launched October 1st of last year. So it's probably been like close to a year, give or take a couple weeks. Yeah.
And yeah, so you fulfilled and shipped that thing out,
Yes, I
and
did. It's been printed. It's beautiful. I have a copy within reach any given time of day right here.
okay.
Boom. There it
Oh
is.
yeah, you got the full screen now, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, see that? Look at that.
Oh,
Beautiful,
nice.
beautiful,
So you
beautiful,
did
beautiful
perfect
book.
bound.
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Yes, and you got it.
Okay. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Who did you go through with the print? That's a nice print.
mix them, mix them.
Oh,
There,
okay.
I did my research. You know what I mean? And
Mixum also printed my book, so that is awesome.
your book is gorgeous. I got one. So.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, actually, it was Vinny Tartamella that told me about Mixum. I had already checked them out, but I was kind of like, because when I was running their prices, there was certain things that I thought were iffy, and it was like not worth the gamble on them. But then I started really playing with their price estimator, and I was starting to work some numbers, and then I started thinking, okay, you know what? Yeah, Print Ninja can beat this price, but this will be printed in America. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
and no, I was very happy with what I got from
yeah,
because I was very much leaning towards Print Ninja, and then I started looking into Mixum, and I was like,
yeah,
okay, maybe I can do it. And I'm definitely going to use them for future
yes.
comics as well because it just makes more sense. And
I intend to use Mixum, as long as I mean, because here's the thing, I've like ever since I started using them, one of the actual owners has been the customer service interaction with me. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know if I'm like if his name was associated to my account back when I first used them or something. You know what I mean? So he's always the one that will actually physically call me. Um, so I just find it's and I obviously I've told him that it's like as like all these people from our group our community is pretty much the I don't know what you'd call it, the Indiegogo YouTube, because not everybody's CG, you know what I mean? So it's like whatever you want to call it. That they're all mix them. He's all, yeah, I've noticed. He's all, I've noticed. He's like, it's like he really appreciates because it's like a big bump in work he gets from us. You know what I mean? Since ever since we all started sending our books, and then
no, they showcased my book. They contacted me because when the print came, because that's the thing. I knew the way I've seen dozens and dozens and dozens of indie comics, and people send me stuff, and I'm I get a lot of digital, but people's like, hey, I have a indie comic I'd love to showcase, and they have a physical copy and they mail it to me, and I'm like, yeah, this is okay. The art looks okay and everything. I knew the team that I put together. I mean, our book was expensive to put together. And I knew with the team we put together that when this thing went to print, it was going to look exceptional.
right.
Whatever else you think about it, I know the quality of the paper and everything. I knew if we did it right, the print would just speak for itself. And they printed it and they were like, wow, this looks great. and so then they contacted me like, hey, we're going to showcase a couple of books. Would you, do you care if we showcase Brand? And I was like, please. And they put it on. They were running ads with my book and everything.
Wait, that's
Yeah,
nice though. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. I'm not going to complain about that because people were seeing it. They were like, wow, what's that book? And when I'd see that they had ran something and I saw something, I was like, hey, that's my book. Please follow me. Please follow me on social media.
Awesome. Yeah.
So they were.
They're really cool. And I asked, like what happens if my numbers get bigger enough to where, to where other printers would be competitively priced. And he said, you know what, if you get the numbers like peak our calculator, you know what I mean? He said, you know what, you can always, because if you've been doing business with us, you know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like I'm on my, this will be my third thing through them. You know what I mean? When it goes to print, he says, if you've been doing business with us, call us and we'll see if we can work something out. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
they were pretty competitive for me because I mean we printed 3,900 copies. So that's, I mean, that was.
Well, I mean, he said he would straight up outbid Print Ninja. You know what I mean? That's what he basically told me. He's like, if I was like, well, because Print Ninja, when you get the higher numbers, they have a more stringy scale than you guys do, and on your estimator. And he said, yeah, the estimator is designed for for mostly low scale stuff. He says the larger scale stuff, the stuff with when you start doing multiple things, if you can do package deals, we'll work out it. So it's so the fact that I do a lot of posters through them and I do a lot of stuff through them, they're happy to again, when scale gets big enough. I mean, at the like 1,000 books, 2,000 books, that's not big enough to to get a really fat discount or another break beyond their estimator. But if you get up to 10,000 books, 15,000 books, I would say definitely. And you're close to that on brand the first time, right? How many books was it the first time for you?
That's what I'm saying. We printed 3,900 copies, and
3,900, yeah. So
yeah, and I ran on both Print Ninja. The prices were very comparable, so
yeah,
it just made sense because he was like, yeah, we can print in like London, we can print, and yeah, our books were printed in Missouri, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, that's the one of the things about Mixum I also love is I have been trying to I've been examining fulfillment centers in the in England, you know what I mean, in that area in Britain, because obviously shipping to the UK is a huge issue, right?
Yeah.
So if I can cut the UK shipping costs by splitting the print, I don't have a print margin yet enough to where I could split the print, where do part of it here in the US and part of it in the UK, but it would be the exact same print file and the exact same printing system. It may not be the exact same people, but it will be the same ink and the same everything. So the books will look identical being printed in two different locations. That's, from what I understand from the communications, that's how it would go. And I'm working towards that, but I don't have enough. There's no way I could do it with I mean, like, oh, I got 70 orders and from the UK, let's do 100. No, that would kill me. I couldn't handle that, so.
Right. Okay, so you're, like I said, you're back. You've got it's Captain Love, Rise of the Pirate King. So
yes, that's the second book. I'm doing this one in chapters because anybody who knows what I'm up to is I actually make sure the book is finished before I start my campaign. Hey, what's up, Melvin? I like to make sure my book is finished before I start the campaign. I probably will, like, if I ever start another series, something that I might do it different later on down the road. I might do it different because I am not a well proven. I am proven now, but I'm not a well proven entity. You know what I mean?
Prove that you're not well proven.
Well, prove that I'm not well proven. That's difficult. You can't prove a negative, right?
Yeah, indeed. Indubitably, sir. This is when I would smoke my pipe and go. Yes. So.
Yeah. So, probably when I finish Rise of the Pirate King, I might be able to, if I have a big enough fan base and a reliable purchase rate, I might be able to, crowdfund the next book ahead of time and let people, wait. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work. I knew it wouldn't work this time around. I didn't have the confidence on doing it that way. So, so I did it the way I'm doing it, and the way I'm doing it's working. And so,
Yeah, my plan, I want to print, I want to, do maybe one more volume, maybe two more volumes. And then I'm going to, print a collected. And then, because we've got opportunity to maybe do some Walmart stuff and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
that's long term. And, I want to actually have a book, with the ISBN and put it up on like Walmart.com and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got an ISBN book, but Walmart won't sell it because it's got nudity in it. I got boobies. Walmart won't sell boobies.
I might have to do some altering of the artwork because there's a little boobage in the way of the gun. So
to my understanding, I mean, obviously I haven't spoken to Walmart and haven't pursued that route, but to my understanding, Walmart will not sell boobies. However, you can still do Penguin Random House. They will, especially if you want to, if they really like it, they may decide to fund the printing first run, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Mm.
If they don't, they will probably let you go through them as distribution if you fund the printing first run. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, you know, I know that if you fund your own printing, they're a lot more open to letting you use their distribution channel.
Well, I was about
So,
to say, yeah, they contacted me, so I was like, okay, I got contacted, so I was like, again, but I just wanted to get, I need to get, I want to get a collected edition before I,
well, you got to have an ISBN. They don't usually, I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
you can't do floppies through Penguin Random House, or it has to be, and it's really easy to do. I mean, you go to Bauer,
Yeah,
Bowser,
that's why I was like,
yeah, and
if
then
anybody that has received brand, that we have ISBN on the back of it. It's not a UPC, because I've had guys go, oh yeah, just put a UPC, and I was like, no, I don't have a UPC. I actually have a ISBN on the back of our book.
UPC is for floppies. That's sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me do the screen thing, because you're all Captain Loved out there on my,
Yeah, this is the floppy with the UPC. So. Yeah, I the reason why I do things the way I do is obviously I don't have the YouTube fan base, the Twitter fan base for myself. I never really tried to build up my own fan base ever. I probably should have years and years ago, when it would have been a good time to start. I mean, I have channels that have, thousands of subscribers, and I don't want to like destroy those channels by trying to force them to start liking comics. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things, but it doesn't mean I can't build it up. I mean, I have been, I have every campaign has done a little bit better than the one before it. If you look at the metric, this campaign didn't have the same high dollar items that the other campaign had, so it doesn't have the same push. But the first campaign, if you think about it, the first campaign, the very, very, very first one, in the 60 days, I only made $3,300, and that was for a graphic novel. And I had it really well priced and a great deal. It was like irresistible, but I was completely unknown. Then when it came out and everybody had it in their hands, they're like, this book is awesome. He fulfills right away. He's fast. This, it's done. This is not a Critias. This is not, a Red Rooster situation. He's getting the book out. We got it. You know what I mean? And so then everybody started buying it slowly, but after about 3 months of being in demand, I had reached the $10,000 point. You know what I mean? So, so it's like, I more than doubled, what I had made during my campaign while in demand, because everybody had the book in their hands. So, I proved it the hard way. And then, so when chapter 1 came out, I'm like, all right, I got to do something new. I got to do something more approaching, because I'm doing these as floppies. Like, I can't afford to do 48 page, and I don't want to do perfect bound 48 pages, even though people are like that. I really want to do the floppies, and then have 6 chapters be perfect bound. So I have 144 to 160 page books, and that's where my mind is on this. That's my business model from the beginning. I didn't, I thought I was going to be doing comic book store distribution when I first had my model, and then that adjusted when I realized that I wasn't going to be able to pull the money. My initial investor flaked on me, and I wasn't going to be able to pull the money in the campaigns. I changed my game plan, focused more on getting prints in my hands and conventions. You know what I mean? To expand the fan base. So.
Let me see. Okay, so
and then of course, then conventions didn't happen because of COVID. But
yeah, that's but Hex Allen, send me a message, man. I'm actually got another shipment going out in the morning. So if you send me a message with your backer number, I'll make sure you're on it. So you'll be on the next shipment. If you just gotta, but you gotta contact me, please. So yeah, because like I said, I still got about 800 more that I'm processing. So. So there was so many. Yeah, I'm doing all this on my own.
Yeah, it's if you're not used to fulfilling, and you don't have like the methods like really worked out ahead of time, fulfillment is a pain in the butt. I mean, my numbers aren't 3,900. I mean, I didn't even
That's the thing. I think a lot of people don't realize because I have personally processed and shipped over 1,600 orders already, and it's on my own. and there are campaigns that that's
I wish I had that problem. I'm just saying.
yeah, that's what
I wish.
having to pack and ship and send all this and
Yeah.
this country and all around the world, which that's actually kind of cool when you're saying, oh, my book's in Norway. Oh,
Yeah.
you're in Japan.
It is nice being able to say that you're an internationally published author. You know what I mean?
So, but that's what it is. So that's cool. But yeah, I got a shipment going out in the morning, and I'll
Yeah. So you know what they say, Mel, the squeaky wheel gets the most grease. So hit him up.
There you go. So but yeah, well, tell us about Captain Love, since it has been so long since you were here before.
So Captain Love is a space trucker and former war hero who is accompanied by Spade, who is an AI software that can basically is alive, for lack of a better term. I mean, she obviously isn't flesh and blood, and depending on how you register what is alive and what isn't, she's completely self-aware and coherent, and she actually has the ability to exist in multiple computers at the same time. Now, those computers may not be able to talk to each other, but she's still alive in each of those computers. And then whenever those computers can talk to each other, she's immediately in sync. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's not like we understand regular life, because we're here and we're not there. She can be here and there at the same time. And then when those 2 points are connected, it's just her at one. You know what I mean? It's just one her. But then when they're separated, it's still one her, but she's in two places. They just can't talk to each other. I know that's kind of a weird concept for a lot of people, but it kind of gives her like superpower status, to where she can hack any open network and make it her own, and then exist in there, rewrite whatever she wants. So if you think about it, if somebody like controlled the internet to some degree, you know what I mean? Like if you were browsing for something and and she wanted to control your results like randomly, you know what I mean? Or whatever, anything, like the world is completely open to what she can do just herself. So she and Love met when he was just on a regular job. He's a space trucker, so he's just dropping some stuff off, and he hears her in the distance, and he's like, what is that? And he's asking around, do you hear that? Nobody else hears it. He's like, what's going on? And because his audio implant is picking her up, and so he gets closer and closer and closer to her, and he's like, okay, there's that door there. She's behind that door. I know it. And so when he finishes his little delivery, he goes back, breaks into the room, and she's like behind the status screen, and she's talking to him. He hears her. They hear each other, And so, and as soon as he turns off the status screen that's locking her onto the computer that's behind the status screen, she immediately pops into his head. Immediately, boom. You know what I mean? And she's all like, can we go? And he's all like, we? What do you mean we? You know what I mean? What's up? And then she basically projects herself on his video, his auditory, auditory's ear, visual implant, his eye. So he can see her there, and she waves to him, says hi. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm it. So basically, he realizes at that moment that this software is in his head, and he's got no way to get her out. You know what I mean? There's just no way. I mean, what's he gonna do? Yank his eyeball and thing? There's the computer. She's in a computer inside his head. Yeah. So, so that's But he just so basically, she hijacks his head, and he breaks her out. And she hangs around. She takes over his hauler's computer and kicks the software that ran it from before gone. So now she basically controls the hauler, and she lives in the computer that runs his audio and visual implant. So.
Well, yeah, your AI, some of the stuff you were saying is kind of similar to what I have planned for Penance and Brand, because there's going to be sequences where, like, say, Penance is off with David, but he's also plugged into their home, Everhart. So like David's Dawn, who's going to be David's wife as we go forward in the book, she'll be home and she'll be talking a bit, but Penance will be out in the field with David or something. It'll be that kind of thing, where they can actually talk to each other and two places at the same time. That kind of
it's I don't really know where the inspiration for Spade came from. I think it came out of necessity. You know what I mean? Like but the coolest thing is I think of her like if you're like playing like one of those first person shooter games, you know what I mean? Like Halo or whatever, and then you have like somebody popping up and talking to you. You know what I mean? That's virtually it, except that she lives in your head and she's showing in your eyes. You don't have like an optical thing that's doing. I mean, it's actually your eye. You know what I mean? So it's and then she can, she's very useful. So like if you have, like say you maybe there's no direct network access like Wi-Fi that you can access, but you can pop a USB or something into a computer that gives you Wi-Fi access to that computer. You know what I mean? And then boom, it's like hackable. Bam. So she, this is stuff that she doesn't do too much yet. I'm like foreshadowing to the kind of stuff that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Because the truth of the matter is all we've done so far is backstory in 72-page graphic novel. And we've released chapter 1, which, was 24 pages of story, which I fit a lot into that 24 pages. And then chapter 2 is what this campaign is for. And so it's not like it's not like you've missed too much if you, because if you think about it, the first book, Hero of the Cleansing, is kind of like the 0 issue. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the setup for everything. So chapter 1 technically is issue 1. I mean, right on the USP symbol, USC, UPC symbol, it actually has the barcode for the numbering, which is the 111. You know what I mean? Which means, the first run of the first cover, no variant, and the first issue. So
let me see. So let me actually pull this up. Okay, so I've got your campaign right here.
Have you watched the video for this yet?
Actually, just briefly a couple days ago when you contacted me, I've been kind of on the run, but we can certainly fire this bad boy up here and see.
I was just curious if you were going to be surprised or not. But
no, I guess I'm going to be surprised. So let's see it, and let's see the trailer for Captain Love: Rise of the Pirate King. Nice. I like this. Okay.
Hi, my name is Eash, and I'm the author of the Captain Love series. I want to tell you all about the second book, Rise of the Pirate King. Yeah, that's a thing. And in this book, you're going to get everything that you would expect from Captain Love. Yeah, you bet. And I'm blessed enough to be able to use an amazing creative team. If you know what I mean, if it feels like the universe is caving in and you need love to the rescue, and it seems like nothing will be right again, you need love to the rescue. Got love to the rescue. Oh, yeah. Now, Captain Love is a space trucker and a former war hero. There is even a legend that he may be immortal. He's accompanied by Spade, who's a living AI. Yes, I said immortal. As in, he cannot die. It feels like the universe is caving in and you need love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right again. You need love to the rescue. Captain Love to the rescue. Oh yeah. In this book, you'll get space pirates, sexy girls in science, monks. There'll be bar fights, space battles, and a lot of awesome junk. There's nudity and violence and swearing within, so this book is mature. That means it's not made for children. And you feel like the universe is giving in, there'll be love to the rescue. And it seems like nothing will be right up there. Captain Love to the rescue. 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 Captain Love to the rescue.
Thank you for your time. Please back Captain Love and help me share this character with the whole world. And if you're not too busy, like and share this video and help me spread the love. Stay awesome.
I must admit, I certainly was not expecting that, sir. Okay. Wow. Okay. I really wasn't expecting that. I was like, okay. I gotta ask, what made you decide to do it like that?
Okay, so that's actually a funny story. You know Brian Krishkow, right? Six Gun Gorilla, right?
I do.
Yeah, he challenged me to write a theme song for Captain Love, right? And that's basically the chorus. It feels like the universe is caving in, and you love to the rescue. You know what I mean? That's basically the theme song that I wrote. And then I was like, okay, well, you know what? I need to, do something that's just not completely boring when I am explaining Captain Love to people over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So I figured I would do it in like an earwig, with the theme song and just, throw down the pitch in verses. So, and it worked out pretty good.
And I'm looking on your campaign. Your top tier here.
Yeah.
You get chapter 1, chapter 2, and volume 1.
Yeah, that's the featured tier. Basically, volume 1 is the Hero of the Cleansing, which is basically what you would think of as issue 0. It's volume 1. That if you have not got it, you can get it and include it here. Chapter 1, which is both those campaigns are still in demand. Volume 1, the Hero of the Cleansing, and chapter 1 are actually still in demand. You can get both of those directly immediately shipped to you now, or you can get them together with your chapter 2 in that featured tier right there.
So wait a minute, let me ask you.
Yeah.
If I ordered this right now, you shipping it now, or you waiting until you can't close the campaign out?
If you order it on this campaign,
okay,
it gets shipped with the chapter 2. That's why it's only $40. Because
okay, that's what I was making sure. I was like, man, if you can ship right now, that's awesome. Okay,
no. If you want it right now, you can get it off the either of the in demand campaigns.
But that's just for what, volume 1 or whatever.
That's volume 1 and chapter 1. Both are still in demand right now.
Okay. So. Okay. But yeah, chapter 2 is not printed yet then.
Not printed yet, no.
But it's done.
It's done. The book is done. It is ready to go to print. Yes.
Yeah, I see you have a variant from Vinny Tartamella.
Yeah, now that is an exclusive thing. We did those for chapter 1, right? And we only printed 100 of them, right? And there is only 6 left.
So a couple of people have snagged those up, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you've got like poster packs here, and poster pack A, poster pack B.
Yeah, the poster pack A and B have not been popular. People have gone with the custom route. Because if you look at the custom posters, they're the one with the 3 black boxes. Basically, that you can pick any of the 3 posters or any of the poster 3 times or any combination that floats your boat. Yeah. And then I have the perks where you have the t-shirts and books and posters. You know what I mean? So it's basically I try to serve all the brackets. Plus, I have a lot of add-on opportunities in there.
Yeah, I see. And then you got this mega tier here where you get everything.
Right.
Yeah, 175 and out the door there, brother. Yeah.
So there you're passing by the posters. That first one was the Vinny Tartamella. It's the same as the variant cover. He actually did it. The artwork was actually at 600 DPI at 11x17. So I asked him if it was cool. We did a poster, and the poster went over so well that we added it to this campaign, and we did more posters. So this one actually is by the illustrator of the book, Andrea Warmita. And that the first one was so that one, and then the one underneath that is that's by Henry Ponciato. He's the one that did the cover art.
Which,
And
yeah, that was a great cover, by the way.
right. Yeah, you know what? I'm really liking his artwork. I'm really, really, really liking his artwork. I mean, it's I see it, and wait till you see the next poster. So when I see his artwork, you know, it's just breathtaking. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, this is
he's
solid right here. Did he? Who's your colorist on this?
my colorist is Slamet Muhio. He is in Indonesia, but he is
Great colorist.
yeah, he's been my colorist since Captain Love. He's been my first colorist that went on board, and I have had like nothing but like great work from him. You know, he at the first, you know what I mean. I had to push him because I needed things a little better than he was coloring when he first started. But now he's at the point where I almost never have to change anything. Like I don't even have to like tell him to change anything almost anytime ever. That's such a joy to never have to send work back. You know what I mean? It's amazing. So.
Yeah, so you got something from Peter Gilmore here.
Yeah, Peter Gilmore did a take because obviously Love is inspired to a large degree by James Bond. So he did a James Bond themed poster for Love from Venus with Love. You know, playing on words, very tongue in cheek. And this one is Pat Maxton, also known as Doodle Bags. This poster is actually hold on one second before you change. I'm going to show you what very few people have seen. Let's see here, application window. So if you want to share my screen really fast, so you can just
I actually have to. I'll have to stop this because I can't see you.
Well, you can't hop back and forth where you just add mine and then yours is added.
No, not until I get back on this screen. So, but now I've got you pulled up, so I've got you on the screen.
So that's the same poster. This is the color version. I haven't put it up on the campaign yet.
Aha! Yes, this is the color person. Oh, but yeah, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Looks nice. All right.
Yeah.
Is it the same colorist colored this?
This is the same colorist. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually I'll be using him for a while. He's if you notice, I love because he actually it's the same colors. You know, he makes sure he uses the same colors, but you can tell that when he colors from artist to artist, the flavor is slightly different. You know what I mean? And it's not just the line work. I mean, the colorist colors a little different. I didn't notice it at first, but then I started looking closer and closer and closer because I got lots of time to look at this artwork. You know what I mean? So, and I'm like, he's just giving each of these their own little taste. You know what I mean? And it makes me so proud to have him on the team. You know, he's an amazing colorist. And I have a top secret project, which I have not revealed publicly, so I can't tell the name of the project or the subject matter of it. But I have another project coming up that will be introduced possibly the beginning of next year. And that one might actually be like a regular crowdfunded kind of situation. It might not. It depends on what the cash flow is like between now and then. But that project itself, he will be doing the colors on it as well. And that project right now also has Pat signed on for the artist. So it's not going to be a Captain Love project, but it will look as sharp as this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because Pat will be doing the art, will be doing at least starting off, you know what I mean, unless he gets something that pays better, you know what I mean? You know how that works. You know, illustrators are there until they have a better reason to be somewhere else. That's just life. That's like with everybody in every job, you know what I mean? But I'm just, the beauty is that's going to be a combination. It's not going to be Captain Love. It won't even be sci-fi so much. It's actually going to be, you know, a way different. I don't want to give any spoilers. It's totally top secret right now. You know, but yeah, so if you want to switch back now, I can.
Well, no, I mean, well, like I said, I closed out, but I mean, you got your thing done, and I mean, we showed everything. I think, unless there's something else.
No, that was pretty much. You showed all the posters. That was the last one. Yeah.
Okay, so, but I mean, yeah, man. I mean, this it looks cool, and you're doing your thing.
Yeah. And the prices are really good. Just so everybody knows, when you look at the prices, there's the shipping is built into the price. All right. So like when you buy that, if you live in the United States, right, the shipping is built into the price, so that when I put $15 on and you go through and you get chapter 2, you're not going to get an additional shipping charge, you know. So
like, okay, so if you're in the US, well, it's I wouldn't say free shipping, but you're not going to have to pay.
Shipping is included. Yes, it's built in, and that is because you know, it costs to ship. You know what I mean? It does. It costs, and then it costs depending on the weight, slightly different. You know, from item to item. But in all reality, it costs you more to ship the book than the price I put on the cover of the book. You know what I mean? So because of that, and because of the nature of it, it's going like this, you know. So you get the book, you get the stretch goals, and you get shipped all for that price. Yeah. Okay. And then I only guarantee stretch goals up until people who back before printing, though. I do still give them afterwards, but I don't guarantee them, because if I run out of stretch goals, I'm not, and I still have books. You know what I mean? So it's yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why I was like, no, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. So okay, so you're not going to give me any spoilers about your secret project or any of that kind of thing?
I just did. I have nobody else knows that Pat Maxton's going to be the illustrator on it. It's going to be a really fun project. It's gonna deal with. All right, I can tell you this much. I'll give you this spoiler. This is an absolute exclusive. Nobody has this. All right. So. All right, so it is see, I just want to make sure I read this before. All right, so the main character has an original adventures, but has to wrestle with his walk in the light, often faces harsh challenges that can be associated with people in everyday lives and their paths. Basically, I dropped a few words out of that because I didn't want to drop the spoilers that came out of that when I was reading it, because there's a few spoilers in that, you know. But basically, that the character is going to have an interesting kind of superpower that we're not really used to seeing, right? And it's not really a superpower, but it kind of is. You know what I mean? I would equate it to like again, I don't want to say. I don't want to give too much out. But I'm gonna try to think of. I gotta be careful. I don't.
Racism is your book about racism? Is that what your book is about?
No, it has nothing to do with racism. There actually, no, racism might be a theme in the book, but it's not really. If it is, it would just be because there's racism in the world. You know what I mean?
Oh God, I'm completely busting your balls. You
are. But racism isn't really the theme. The theme is more the hero has to wrestle with himself to make sure that he holds on to his ability to achieve his tasks. You know what I mean? So he has so not only does he have like physical confrontations and physical challenges and mystery and detective stuff he has to do, and all kinds of, you know, stuff that he has to accomplish that most superheroes have to accomplish. He also has an internal struggle he has to wrestle with that, you know, that like everybody in the world, you know, like if you want to be a good person, sometimes you got to wrestle with, you know, holding your tongue at the right time. You know what I mean? You know, if you know, there's, you know, those, a lot of, you don't get a lot of that in comics, you know, you don't get too much humanity. And so he's got a lot of humanity in him. So how's that for an exclusive?
So your next project is Batman versus Donald Trump. That is exclusive here. You heard it here first, folks. Batman versus Donald Trump. That is by Drew Eash, which will be crowdfunding sometime in 2021. So there you go. But you know, oh man, I feel very accomplished here that we have gotten this exclusive. Right here.
Why can't it be Batman as Donald Trump, or Donald Trump as Batman?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Donald Trump actually was Bruce Wayne all this time.
What about are we going to have Biden as the Joker in the book?
No, I think we would have to gender bend and make the Joker Hillary.
Not well. That's isn't that like Flashpoint? That's what they did in Flashpoint, where they made Bruce Wayne's mom the Joker. You know,
yeah, that was where Martha Wayne was the Joker. Yeah,
Martha Wayne was the Joker. Which I mean, yeah, that was an interesting. You know, Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. Yeah, that was. I thought that was an interesting take. So, like they're in crime alley, the mugging happens, and it ends up. The mugger ends up, instead of killing Thomas and Martha Wayne, kills Bruce Wayne, and Thomas Wayne becomes the Batman, and Martha Wayne becomes the Joker. and then of course the Flash had altered the timeline. The whole thing got away. But right. I mean, yeah, that's a story, and I think that's what the new Flash movie is supposed to be about. With both,
I heard that rumor also, that we're gonna get Martha Wayne as the Joker in Flashpoint. I heard that rumor.
Well, what's the guy from The Walking Dead that plays Negan? He's Thomas Wayne, because he was Thomas Wayne in that first.
The actor's name I can't remember.
I can't remember his name, but
yeah. He plays Clay in one of my favorite movies, The Losers. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah. Idris Elba's in that. Yeah, that's what was that? That was published through Image, or was that Boom Studios? I think one of those two published it. It might have been Image. I think it's Image.
I think it might have been Image also.
Yeah, The Losers, and which I thought that I was kind of. I actually, some people didn't like that movie. I enjoyed The Losers. I thought it was really cool.
Anybody who didn't like the movie, I think they just didn't like it for the characters themselves and how it wasn't quite like the comic.
You know I mean? They definitely switched some stuff, but
that's usually the case when they're not true to the comic or true to the book or whatever. That's usually when people bitch about a movie that's good, because that movie was good. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I just like what was it? What's her name? That was Gamora and Guardians of the Galaxy and all that. I can't remember.
Yeah. That's Zoe
Saldana. That's it. Okay, yeah, and yes, which they're supposed to be doing 2 more parts of Avatar with her in it as well. And
are they still shooting that?
It's been in pre-production for like 4 or 5 years now, and it was supposed to go. They were supposed to be filming over the summer. Obviously, COVID has slowed a few things down, but James Cameron was like, yeah, we're about to start shooting. And then all this stuff, it's like, we're going to shoot this summer, but they were supposed to start shooting the new Spider-Man over the summer. Although I think I heard a couple weeks ago that they might start shooting in November.
I know that the shooting keeps getting kicked down the road on larger scale projects because of the amount of people that's required to do them. And then the more that you have to social distance and supply face masks and stuff like that, the budget gets kind of tweaked. So you have these number crunchers, and then on top of that, you have agents, right, and managers who are all like, well, if everybody's not going to get this tested and everybody's not going to get this, you know what I mean? They're like, I got to protect my person. Maybe we need some hazard pay, and we need some hazard pay. You know what I mean? So all these negotiations are going on, to my understanding. So like almost no large scale production is getting really done. You know what I mean? Because everybody's negotiating hazard pay for COVID.
But so I've seen a couple of artists that I follow. Like I follow 50 Cent on Instagram and on Twitter, and he's not doing as much music over the last 5 or 6 years, but he's got 4 or 5 different TV shows that he's producing, like game shows and different things. And one of the things that he's been shooting is Power and Power Book 2 Ghost, which it's on hiatus, I think, until November.
Powered Book 2 Ghost, I think they stopped shooting. Yeah, but but it's airing, so they're going to have to pick it up soon because it's airing. Did they shoot the whole season?
No, they shot 5. It was supposed to air in August, and it got pushed back to they just started airing it a couple weeks.
Yeah, it started in September.
Yeah, which I've enjoyed it. It's a great show, but he just posted some photos the other day. They were back on the set, but you saw them in between scenes. They were having to, I guess their thing is to pretend like COVID's not happening in the world. So the actor, when they're actually shooting, they won't have the mask, but after that, outside of that, they'll be wearing, because he was standing by the trailer with some of the actors, and they had face coverings and stuff like that. And the crew is all wearing face covering.
Also, and they won't let any pictures out without that, because that'll kill production.
Yeah. And then I also know just from talking to, I'm working with Daym Drops on his comic book, and he just got through shooting. He's got a new TV show that's coming out first couple months of the first quarter of 2021. I think it's gonna be on Food Network, well, I mean, he used to have a show on the Travel Channel, so that's why I was like, I think this new one's gonna be on Food Network. But he showed a lot of footage of them. He was making a lot of his like YouTube videos where them shooting. He was going all over the country and testing food and stuff. And in between scenes, they got tested like 2 or 3 times a week. They actually had someone on the set test. Like say he was gone for like 2 months. He didn't get to see his wife and all this kind of thing. So he was but he actually showed footage of them like he's like testing. They were doing a lot of stuff. And when they were showing the camera, the behind the scenes stuff, and the cameraman is filming Daym, and he's like setting up the next segment or whatever. You see the cameraman sitting there with face masks and all this kind of stuff. So that it can be done, but it just it looks like you have to take some extra precautions with everything that's going on in the world.
And I mean, obviously there's extra precaution costs more, and there's probably other things like I do know that like a lot of like the union is getting paid more, like they're getting more per hour, the union workers. They're supposed to because of that. I know that it's the thing is that the industry, stopped cold because some of the people in it are too valuable, you know what I mean, to get sick. You know what I mean? Like, and because they're worth, millions of dollars a movie. You know what I mean? And so it's really crazy when you think how many there are. I mean, there's really hundreds of actors out there that make more than $1 million a movie.
Oh yeah, because like Tom Holland, that was Spider-Man and all the Avengers movies and all this. Like they were supposed to be shooting Uncharted because he's supposed to be playing Drake in the Uncharted movies or whatever. So although some people didn't necessarily like the cat, I like Tom Holland. I think he's a good actor, and
I think he's got talent. Yeah, he's got
yeah. But I don't know. I know people they like our Uncharted, and they were like, I don't know if I like Tom as Drake. I don't know if that's if he's the right guy. It needs to be someone. What was it? I saw some people suggesting that they should have asked like Nate Fillion to play Drake or something like that, and I was like, I could see that like 20 years ago. He's a little, he's older guy now. Yeah. I was like, he's a little old.
He's nearing, I think he's pushing up to 60 now. He's
no chicken.
I mean, at minimum, he's 55, but he might be pushing higher than that.
That's what I'm saying. So I was sitting there going, like 20 years ago, he might have been great for that. I remember watching like Firefly or whatever, and
I love Firefly.
And they,
favorites.
And they had him on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and all that kind of thing. So I really, I think Tom's young, and I mean, what's he like 24, 25, but yeah, I think. Well,
if you remember, it's like okay, so like Two Girls, a Guy in a Pizza Place was where you would find both him, Nathan Fillion, and dude Ryan. Why am I forgetting?
Oh God,
Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool, right?
Deadpool Ryan. I swear to God, I gotta go get that jellyfish pill or something. You know what I'm talking about? Because my brain is just wearing out as I get old, man. But we know what we're talking about. Everybody knows what we're talking about now. They were both on Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place together. You know what I mean? And then it's funny how their careers advanced because that was their 20s when Nathan Fillion was in his 20s. Then the next big thing after that was you just said it and I'm slipping my mind again. Before Firefly, it was
well, he's on Buffy, but
Buffy, that's what it was. Buffy, yeah, he was Buffy's boyfriend, love interest for a while.
No, he was Nate was they brought actually when they brought him, it was after Firefly got canceled. They brought him as he was the big.
Is that after Firefly?
Yeah, he was the evil priest. They were setting up for the quote unquote big bad that they always
I
have
thought
there.
he was like the soldier hero dude in that. Wasn't he like the guy
He
that
was
worked for
a
the?
Southern preacher on Buffy that was actually, I guess he was a minion of the forces of darkness or whatever. Because like you killed him, and then he really didn't die. He was able to like regenerate himself, and those like he was just he had this kind of weird Southern. I always love when
He
people
was
that
Caleb.
aren't.
Yeah, he was Caleb. Right.
Yeah. I always love when people that aren't Southern do Southern accents because they always
Who was
themselves
who was the soldier dude then? That's what I was getting him confused with that.
You're talking about the one that they in? Oh yeah. You're talking about the guy that they had. He ended up joining that Monster Hunter squad on Buffy.
Right.
Oh God, what happened to that dude? Because he was in some other stuff I saw as well.
Yeah, for some reason I was mixing the two characters together until we just now.
It was Ryan Reynolds, the Deadpool guy. That's why I was like, I couldn't. Oh God, I was
yeah,
like,
Ryan Reynolds is that. Yeah, that was the name of the
sexiest man alive. And I think he's been voted sexiest man alive at least twice.
Yeah, it's because it's because he's smooth and funny. That's it. That goes well. I mean, if you can be like charming and a dick at the same time, you can every door will open up for you in the world.
Did you see his new trailer? The new trailer for that movie. I can't remember it. It apparently broke YouTube records the other day when they released the trailer. It's gotten like stupid million hits on that trailer. So
I have not, but now I'm gonna have to look it up.
In the video game and everything, yeah, he's a non-playable character in a video game that somehow becomes aware that he is in a video game, and it's the whole thing. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I mean, I watch all his movies.
Yeah,
and he's got like 80 million. He's got like 80 million movies in the fire right now because they're doing the Hitman's Bodyguard 2. I saw there were, and matter of fact, there was a photo of him, Samuel Jackson, and Salma Hayek. They're all back for the Hitman's Bodyguard 2, but I don't think they've been able to shoot much of it with all the, like I said, it is just like we were talking about with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Because this video game movie, I saw the trailer, the little snippet, the teaser trailer to that. They released that like a year ago, and then I was oh, when's this coming out? And then it just disappeared. And like a year later, they were like, oh, here's the full trailer. And so it came out. So like I said, with everything going on, I understand that production, like I said, that Uncharted movie was supposed to be shooting this summer. Because Tom Holland was supposed to shoot Uncharted, and then he was supposed to immediately go into Spider-Man 3.
Right.
And then, so I don't know if he ever actually got to shoot Uncharted, but they're supposed to pick up Spider-Man 3 with Benedict Cumberbatch, who they just announced is going to be. Yeah, they're going to have Doctor Strange, because I know they're setting up Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how that is. So
I actually liked him as Doctor Strange. You know,
yeah,
I thought I wasn't going to like him as Doctor Strange, but I ended up liking him as Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I didn't think I was, and I love Benedict Cumberbatch.
Because I wanted Doctor Strange to have that accent. You know what I mean? I wanted him to have the whole, the white and the mustache and the really greasy looking.
Hokey. Notice they didn't want to overpower it, but they did put the white tufts on his hair. But I was like, I hate that, because whenever they do like Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four, they were like, they did that with that guy. What's the guy? Ian, the guy that played in the
first two, the Silver Surfer, and
they did. They tried to. They put the little fake.
The one where Captain America was the fire dude.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is being overused a little. Yeah.
The whole thing, and I always remember. I used to go to John Byrne's website, Byrne Robotics, and he actually got into some trouble because he talked about, because especially in the first one, Jessica Alba was Sue Storm, and he said, I always hate when they put blonde wigs on Latina actresses or something. He said it kind of looked like hookers or something. He said, and I mean, people were like going in, but I was like, he just spoke his opinion. He wasn't trying to be racist or anything. I was like, I don't know. The whole thing was crazy. Okay. But
just to correct the record, Nathan Fullen is actually going to be 49 right now. He's
50 years old, dude.
Yeah, he's not even 50. Yeah.
I'm saying he's still a little, for me, he's a little old to be playing Drake.
Right.
So I understand why they would pick somebody that's like 25 instead to play him.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also gives the character a little bit longevity. Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing. Because they're saying that what's the guy, I can't remember, the Kevin Feige, the guy that's the head of Marvel Studios. They said that him and Ryan Reynolds and their agents and stuff, they're about to offer him a deal that is comparable to what Robert Downey Jr. got those last few movies for playing Iron Man, so that they can bring Deadpool. They want Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, they're saying he's gonna get like stupid money, like he might be making like $60 million a movie to play Deadpool, like 5-picture deal.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
That's kind of cool. I mean, I think that's awesome. The only downside is that he might not have the same kind of control he did, on the first two Deadpool movies.
If he gets 60 million, I'm sure he won't care. Although the second I didn't enjoy second Deadpool as much as I did the first one.
Well, it's because I understand it's because the edit for the second one was cut back to appease the powers that be on the 20th Century Fox sale.
Well, yeah, and it's, I don't know, the second one, and matter of fact, there was an interview that just came out the other day with Josh Brolin, and he talking because he was playing Thanos in the Avengers movies, and he was having to hop between the set.
He was doing both at the same time.
Yeah, he was playing Cable and Thanos at the same time, and he said that playing Cable was more of a business transaction, and he had a lot more fun on the Avengers set. I didn't like him, and I love Josh Brolin. I didn't enjoy him as Cable. So
a little short for Cable, in my opinion.
Well, it wasn't that, because they spent all the money on because like when they showed that first trailer and he had that, the little shield the little energy shield came out of his arm, and then he's like, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. And then what they did with Cable in Deadpool 2, it just kind of looked like they were throwing everything. Okay, let's put Cable in here. Let's put Domino in here. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh, let's do X-Force. And I was just, they had too much stuff going on in Deadpool 2. Whereas I think the fact that they didn't have money on the first one, they only, that sounds crazy to say that that's not money, that they only spent about $70 million on Deadpool 1. And I mean, ended up making like $800 million. So they were like, wow. But this one, the second one, they spent like $150 million on it. And, so everybody got more money, and they got rid of the director for, who's the guy that directed I think he directed that horrible King Arthur movie that had the guy from Sons of Anarchy. He directed something that bombed. I can't remember what the movie was, but the guy that directed Deadpool 1 and Ryan Reynolds had some differences of opinion when it came to the second one, and obviously they're not going to get rid of Ryan Reynolds,
right?
So,
especially since the Ryan Reynolds is like the whole reason why the Deadpool character was brought back. You know what I mean? In fact, he's the only person that's ever played Deadpool. He played it in the fucking Wolverine Origins movie too.
Yeah, which that was shit. But I like that they actually goofed on him. Matter of fact, I like when he went. That was one of my favorite parts in the Deadpool.
In the number 2 when he went back and goofed on that shit.
Yeah, he was time traveling and the whole thing. So,
okay, well, you know that they were supposed to. So there was supposed to be a Deadpool 3 with the same team, and they actually got Hugh Jackman to agree to come and be Wolverine in that movie. You know what I mean? Like he's going to do a cameo or something as Wolverine. And they actually got all the OKs and all the permission, all that kind of stuff. But then when 20th Century Fox bought, they canceled it. So
the guy's Tim Miller. He's the one that directed that really shitty Terminator Dark Fate. That's what when he lost the Deadpool 2 job, he immediately took over the Terminator job. Mm-hmm. And obviously that was a shit.
That was a fucking train wreck. I mean, let's address it. Okay. The movie was extremely visually stunning. The effects were awesome. Yeah. The stunts were cool. The writing was shit.
Oh,
turd blossom shit.
But I got excited when I heard Edward Furlong was gonna be back as I was like, oh, they got Edward Furlong to come back, and then you found out what they did with him, and all this. I was like, oh god, this is horrible. Because Terminator 2 is about as perfect of a sequel as you can. I mean, incredible. Yes. I mean,
Terminator 3 was even okay. You know what I mean? I didn't love it, but it was okay. I mean,
the effects were great, but I didn't like what's that guy? The guy that they actually had to play that played what's the future captain or whatever that saves humanity. I can't remember his name. The Christian Bale played him much.
No,
better.
That was Salvation. That was not 3. 3 was when it was the blonde kid and Claire Danes as
the guy that played the same character that Christian Bale ended up playing, but
John Connor.
Yeah, John Connor. Okay, so the guy that they had played because what was it? The chick from Homeland played his future wife and all this kind
Claire
of stuff.
Danes.
Yeah, Claire Danes. Yeah, Claire Danes played. Yeah, which I love Claire Danes. Like Homeland. If you want to watch Claire Danes do good stuff, watch Homeland instead.
Claire Danes was good as I mean, she wasn't pretty. In my opinion, she wasn't pretty enough to be Juliet, but she did good in Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio and Romeo and Juliet.
What was the Romeo and Juliet? Was that Baz Luhrmann? Yeah. I thought.
And then there's that. What's that movie? Where I actually liked Claire Danes into, where she plays a fallen star. What's the name of that movie?
Nick. What's his Nick? Oh man, but that guy's. I hate him. He was in. I don't enjoy his work. I have to be honest. I've seen him in a bunch. He was a child actor, and he was. Matter of fact, I don't know if The Man Without a Face with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, which was a really good movie.
Yeah, and he was good in that. But that's the thing is sometimes when these child actors grow up, his adult form, he kind of reminds me of Haley Joel Osment. Like you see Haley Joel Osment as an adult, and he's kind of fat and pudgy and stuff. You're like,
I don't know. Whenever I see Christian Bale, I still remember Empire of the Sun.
So. Yeah. But he was also in Newsies. A lot of people forget that he was in Newsies. Which I remember Newsies like, oh yeah, here's your paper, and I dated someone and she loved that movie, and I was like, oh, I love Newsies, and I was like, yeah. I was like, they spent a lot of money on that movie and it like bombed, but it has like a weird cult following now. So that's one. But yeah, Nick, I can't remember Nick something, but yeah, he was in The Man Without a Face, and that movie was weird to me because Mel Gibson, they painted him as that freak molested that child, and the kid clearly knew that Mel hadn't molested him, and I mean he tried to speak up, but they were like, "We're getting rid of this guy," and the whole premise of that movie was weird to me, man.
The problem it was addressing something that happens in real life, you know what I mean, and they had to make some kind of. They had, honestly, I was in the writer's head, you know what I mean? But I can understand why they needed that, because it wouldn't sell the movie the way they needed to sell it without that, where he was like, inspiring the kid, and then he wasn't really a child molester. Everybody knew he wasn't a child molester, but he still had to keep his distance because it was just, because he was so burned up and so ugly that people wanted to make him a monster.
Yeah, I just looked it up too. It's Nick Stahl. Yeah, Nick Stahl. But like I said, I got to be honest. I do not enjoy Nick Stahl. And I'm not saying he shouldn't work. He shouldn't have, be able to. I don't. So him as John Connor, as soon as I saw that he was replacing Edward Furlong as John Connor, I was done at that point. I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, they actually wanted Edward Furlong. They talked to him first, but he was too junked out at the time. He couldn't get that needle out of his arm.
Yeah, he was going through some stuff. Yeah, I was like, again, that's which it was weird after Terminator, because Terminator 2 blew up, and Edward was about to get all these movie roles, and he did the first movie he did was with what was it? There was this weird movie. I guess it was like a computer clown that came to life or something like that. That was his first movie after he actually had shot it around the same time as Terminator. It's what happens when you're an actor and you have a bunch of movies in the can, and then they decide not to put it out, and then you have a hit. They go, "Oh, we got a movie with this guy," and they put it out. There's a horrible movie about a jet with AI with Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah. That Stealth.
Yeah, Stealth. So yeah, Jamie Foxx and the chick that's married to Justin Timberlake that was on Seventh Heaven, and I can't remember the guy. There was three. It was three pilots and
Jessica Biel.
Yeah, Jessica Biel. Well, I prefer to call her Jessica Biel Timberlake. I was like, she's his baby mama. You know, it's like, I don't know. But yeah, Jessica Biel. But yeah, Stealth had been shot around the same time that
Jessica Biel was super hot in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Do you remember when she was still on? She was wanting. It's like when these kids are in. They're like Disney child actors, and they decide, I don't want to be a child actor. So then they like do a Maxim photo shoot where it's like a little kinky and stuff like.
That's what Miley Cyrus did. She was like, okay, I don't want to be associated with Disney anymore. I'm gonna take my clothes off. Here's my titties.
Yeah. And then what was the other chick that was? What was her the blonde girl that was on Disney and
Hannah Montana? No, that was Miley Cyrus. You're talking about
Bella Thorne? Yeah, definitely Bella Thorne. I love
There's a lot that were Disney girls that did that. There was
Sweet Life.
There was Selena. There was
Selena definitely did. She's done some kind of risque photo shoots as well. Man, I can't believe I can't remember this girl's name because she tried to be like a music star and
I know who you're talking about. She was on the Steve Martin movie not Parenthood, the Cheaper by the Dozen series.
Okay, so now
she was the oldest daughter in that, wasn't she? The one on that?
See, we get to talking, man. I be having to look all these people up, man. So I'm like, Cheaper by the Dozen, and yeah, so I'm because I know her sister's an actress as well, and Hilary Duff.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about.
And and what was the show? Because this is what Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, that's it. Which I've never watched one episode of ever.
So. My ex, she has she had 2 kids, and we were together 4 years. And when we moved in together, every TV in the house was on Disney Channel, even in my bedroom. And I was like, this is my sanctum sanctorum. So I have to have somewhere where I can watch the Titans game. But her youngest son, who's like 18 now, just unfortunately just had to have surgery because he was the dude got all big and he's playing football. And he tore his meniscus, and he's his senior year in high school. He's not able. Yeah, he's unfortunately he had to have about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He just had to have his meniscus surgery. But yeah, he's out for the rest of the season, and so he won't be able to play his senior year with the rest of the football team. So yeah, but he got hurt. Yeah, like one game, and he immediately bam just tore it, and he was out for the rest of the season. So, but yeah, they used to watch him and his sister. They would watch all of the Hannah Montana stuff and Sweet Life of Zach and Cody and whatever that show that the haunted show where
Goosebumps.
Selena what's it called?
Goosebumps?
No, the Selena Gomez's show where she was her little brother, and there's a family. This guy married a witch, and then all the kids have powers and all this kind of weird stuff. I can't remember. But I can't really say. I was like, I used to see all this. I remember all these little weird theme songs.
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Waverly Place, yeah, because it was. Matter of fact, wasn't that Chris Farley's brother? I thought he was the father or something like that. I don't know. Chris Farley's brother. But yeah, I remember Wizards of Waverly Place. But yeah, I remember Selena. And then she's growing. Disney just cranks those kids out. High School Musical, which I hear that's coming back.
They're only good for about 10 years. You know what I mean? So they got little 10-year careers. Get them when they're young. basically control their life for 10 years, and then when they become teenagers, they rebel hard.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and you see Hilary Duff, she got tired of Lizzie McGuire, and Miley Cyrus definitely got tired of Hanna-Barbera or Hannah Montana, whatever. Yeah, Hannah Montana.
Hanna-Barbera, that's funny.
I was like, he probably got tired of that.
She's on there with the Flintstones and shit.
Yeah, but it was the best of both worlds, and I can't believe that she put a wig on, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're not Miley."
Right.
Okay. You're the most famous pop singer in the world because you don't have a wig on. Wow, you put the wig on and you're the most famous pop singer on the planet.
That Party in USA song, that was a big fucking hit.
Oh, no doubt. And I mean, she had hits. Her bubblegum stuff was very popular because she had that young audience. And then she started doing more. I remember when she was working with Mike Will Made It, the rap producer, and she did that like rap. She did a song with one of the guys from 3-6 Mafia and all this. I was like, oh my God.
What's funny is it may, like the careers of these, okay, so like if you are a sanitized performer, you know what I mean? Like she was when she was, the Hannah Montana, all that kind of stuff. Wait, if you're Miley Cyrus and you're still sanitized, you will make a fortune with your little sing ditties. Think of Hanson when they were like, super sanitized.
Oh man, I hadn't thought about Hanson.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, that song would not have made it as it was just a catchy tune because it was played over and over and over again. As somebody who writes music, I understand. That's why I have my theme song the way I have it rented, where I'm trying to earwig everybody on that. So they're like, Captain Love to the rescue. They're reminded of fucking, oh yeah, Captain Love. I got to back the next one. You know what I mean? It's like, So
always, House was one of my favorite shows when it was on, and whenever the intern doctors would call House,
yeah.
That was his ringtone on the phone was Bop.
Yeah.
That was always so like whenever I always wondered how much money they had to pay to clear that because it wasn't just like the music, it was the actual, you could hear hands bop, 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 doo, bop. And he was like, yeah. He'd pick up the phone. So that was kind of a running joke on the show that whenever they would call him, it would play Bop. And I was just like, though. I remember, man, Hanson was huge. They were so big at the time, and
they were the hugest for their demographic at the time. Yes,
yeah, they were. But I mean, I remember like Carson Daly on MTV on TRL, and it was the boy band craze. So you had Hanson, and then you had the Backstreet Boys. You had obviously NSYNC.
Yeah.
And what was the one with I can't remember the
Color Me Bad?
No, that
was a long time ago, I know, but that's like so funny to me.
That lead singer from matter of fact, that lead singer from Color Me Bad, he put on like 300 pounds. He blew up. No, he might be skinny again now because if you watch, there was a reality show on Alex VRB said the Backdoor Boys.
The Backdoor Boys.
Yeah. I remember Howard Stern actually had a parody. He called they did a song called the Backseat Boys. They were doing that for a while, and it was like every anyway, I don't want to get in trouble. But the Howard had a very funny song parody. Although he had the Backstreet Boys come on, they've been on his show a few times, and they were like, "Oh, we love you, Howard," and all that, that kind of deal. So it's like you have to be able to take a joke. So, I remember, Howard's song.
I have a friend because that's like so obsessed with the Backstreet Boys, it's like annoying.
Like, I can't believe they're still touring.
Yeah, me.
Well, they just did a tour. What was it? I think it was Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block, and New Edition. And I was or was it Boys to Men? I think it might have been. I think it was Boys to Men. Okay, so it's like, but that was what they did like 2019 because I was following because I follow some of the Boys to Men guys, and they were like, "Yeah, we're on tour with the Backstreet Boys." And I was like, "Are you bringing Color Me Bad back?" Because I was like, "That's
the '90s boy band flashbacks.
yeah." It was. I can't remember. What was it? Nick Lachey? Who was it? What was 98 Degrees? What was it? Yeah, 98 Degrees. I remember when he was married to Jessica Simpson.
Yeah,
and he had 98 Degrees. But I remember him. Man, who was it? Was it Mandy Moore? I'm missing you like candy. They had everybody, like that was when Christina Aguilera first came out, and Britney Spears, and oh my God, which those are all Disney kids. Surprise, because they were all part of the Mickey Mouse Club. You had Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. What? At least
it's hard to compete with Disney money. It's hard to compete with Disney money.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Justin Timberlake and what was the other guy from NSYNC that were both part of the Mickey Mouse Club? I can't remember. It was two of those. The other guy that sang second lead in NSYNC.
Yeah, I you know what? The one thing, Justin Timberlake, he's got mad skills. He's got so many songs I dig, and you know what I mean. And he's been in movies I thought were pretty cool, but he really should just try to find a way to macho out a little bit more. You know what I mean? Just a little bit.
You don't think? I don't know. I just think he's kind of like cool party guy. It's like he's always like that because always.
He reminds me of he reminds me of that guy that pretends to be tough and then when he's challenged doesn't really come through.
Oh well, I will say that when the Super Bowl controversy happened, which I was watching, I love watching that
way back with Janet Jackson, way back in the day.
Which that was that's when you knew that Big Brother was watching everything, because that was around the time TiVo was still very new software at that time.
Yeah,
and it's pretty much. I don't even think people
that was pre-cell phone time.
Yeah, well, or the cell phones existed, but they were
they weren't like handheld. There weren't no Nokias. They were fucking big old huge boxes that you carried around in suitcases.
We definitely didn't have smartphones. We had cell phones.
Right.
But it definitely was pre-smartphone. But they had the crazy little.
It was pre-PDA also. So yeah,
all that. And when the Super Bowl thing happened, I was surprised how quickly he folded on Janet Jackson. I didn't really like that move. I got to be honest, because Janet, and Janet did an interview after, and she talked about it because she was like, I thought me and Justin were pretty cool. And he just said, like, I didn't do it. It was her idea. And such as, the whole deal. And he immediately folded on her. And,
right.
I was like, damn, that was quick.
The truth of the matter, it probably was her idea, but it was a good idea. It should have happened. It was smooth. It was controversial. It was, it was trying to break down the bullshit that we have on double standards. You know what I mean? There was a lot to it that I thought was pretty cool. Plus she had nice titties then. So,
but the thing is, that's why I was talking about the TiVo metric, because that technology has just been, most DVRs use the technology that was patented. Although I think TiVo got bought out by like $1 billion like 10 years ago, like some other company. Because I know Xfinity, Comcast, Universal, or whatever, they had been licensing that technology for at least 15 years now. Because I have my Comcast DVR.
Comcast Universal, I think, is the one that pretty much has the patent on. They
paid TiVo like hundreds of millions of dollars, but that was one of the things that we first started noticing, that they are tracking. I mean, we already know like what you're doing online is being tracked, but they said that moment of Janet Jackson, with the breast out at the Super Bowl, that particular little 10, 15 seconds kept getting, people kept rewinding and watching it. It got watched just on DVRs, over 500 or 600 million times. People kept watching and rewinding and watching and rewinding. And so I thought that was interesting, that so you know, in them reporting that on the news, they actually inadvertently revealed that they are watching every single thing. When you're watching shows that you've recorded on your DVR, they can tell when you're watching. Are you skipping through the commercials? They're tracking everything you do, and obviously
well,
they're doing.
they do. They track everything on metric. They don't necessarily assign it to the individual in every case. I mean,
Wink, wink. Although it's supposed to be anonymous. We know from the leaks that came out from Facebook a few years ago, it's actually not anonymous. And
Facebook's not anonymous. In fact, if you read their terms and conditions, they tell you straight up front it's not anonymous, and that everything that they collect from you, everything you post, they can resell.
Yeah, and that is true. And like when you agree to everything, it is. But when a lot of people just click yes and accept the terms so they can sign up, and they don't actually read it.
That's correct.
And I've actually seen some articles where they were like, "Do you actually read your terms of service, or do you just click accept and go on?" And that came out. Yeah. Matter of fact, I love Anonymous's videos. Like, a matter of fact, Anonymous had been gone, and then when the George Floyd killing happened, Anonymous showed back up on, and I saw it got like 600 million views. Anonymous showed back up on YouTube, and I was like, whoa. And he specifically referenced the George Floyd killing and all that. I was like, and he hadn't been on YouTube in forever. And I saw people were sharing that on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. I was like, man, Anonymous been gone for a couple of years. And all of a sudden, Anonymous is like, we will be watching you. We will. And I was like, oh man, but he hadn't made any more videos. And I was just like, but yeah, I agree, Ali. That's what I'm saying. I've seen like 60 Minutes and stuff like they've done features. A lot of times when people actually go through the terms of service, which you agree to, but yeah, some people leaked information on, private stuff that was actually going on how Facebook was actually using your data, and which actually played into, some of the things that if you believe in Russiagate or any of the stuff that happened in the 2016 election, they were using Facebook or the algorithm to post. But then, I've seen they've interviewed. Matter of fact, there was somebody, I think it was like NBC News. They found one guy, but he was an American. He wasn't a Russian. He was one guy that had like about 15 accounts. And his thing is he would sit there through these different accounts. He had built them up on social media. And through these 15 accounts, he's able to post things, whether it's true or not. And he kind of fancied himself as, he's causing havoc on the interwebs. And he's like, let me put misinformation out there. Let me do the, and he had a couple of different things. He's like, just through these little accounts, he posted just on a handful of these accounts where he had built up, a couple 100,000 followers on it. He said he just kept following the same formula to build it up. And then, he'd post something controversial. People would talk and then they would share it. He'd go into another group, post the same thing. And just from this handful of accounts, he's able to kind of get something trending, whether it's true or not.
It's actually fairly easy to get something trending depending on how many people are watching. You know what I mean? So if you can get it in front of a bunch of people and then bounce it a few times, like for instance, we were having a discussion on what makes a thing trend on like Indiegogo, right? A lot of people think that it's just the finances. You get to a certain dollar figure and you're trending, and it's like, it's only part of it. That is a factor, but I think the biggest factor on trending is how many people you send to it, right? So like that, the more people that go and look at the campaign, I think is actually what causes it to trend, not necessarily if they are spending money on it. So
yeah, but yeah, I thought this was interesting. Like I said, the guy only had about 15 accounts, and between the different accounts, he had about 700,000-800,000 people between the various accounts that he had created.
There you go.
And so he was able to kind of spread this information. And I was like, that's one guy sitting in his basement somewhere posting stuff.
jumping between accounts and sharing and then commenting on the share and then going back and jumping and commenting on the share, sharing it to Facebook, sharing it to other things and stuff, probably even, you know what I mean? And having just creating a buzz so that people who, you know, see it enough and maybe they like it, they click it, they read it, they, you know, share it themselves, you know, they repost it, you know, it just explodes. You got 700,000 people looking. You can do a lot with that. You can do
and that's why I was saying, but I was like, man, when that guy, you know, he got featured on, I thought I saw him on Vice or something like that, and they interviewed him, and he was like, yeah, between these like dozen accounts, I was able to get certain information trending and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's one guy with you know, about 12, 15.
Now think about this. Think about what you can do with a team of 5 programmers. Yeah. And now you know why Facebook's a fucking, you know, disaster.
Yeah, but that's, you know, and I'm seeing Facebook's like, oh, we're not going to allow certain type of ads and stuff with this.
Yeah, but the problem with that is it's already done its damage before Facebook finds it. So
yeah, and that's the thing, man. So I was like, the whole thing is weird. But I also find that kind of stuff fascinating. I thought that was interesting. Like I said, I was like, man, that's one guy with just about a dozen accounts, and he was able to get certain things trending, and you know, that's well, and like also,
you know, they have those automated Twitter accounts. You know, like you can automate Twitter. You know what I mean? Like I actually know some people who specialize in things like those ITS wraps, which is the, you know, the bullshit diet, you know, like melt off your fat with chemicals wraps. And then they have like supplements that they do, stuff usually targeting people who are wanting to lose weight or put on muscle. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of products, right? And I swear he probably has 30 into 50 like Twitter accounts, you know, username style things that he does all across the platforms. But the Twitter itself, he uses the automated Twitter, and he basically retweets from each of those accounts. So one of them will tweet on a time schedule, and then another one will tweet something later on a time schedule, and then they're all retweeting, and then they will comment these preset comments to each other. So he just sits there and just sets it up and lets it go. And then you have these 50 accounts talking to each other on Twitter, just interacting with each other. And then that gets massive attention to the products.
Yeah. And I was like, well, something else that, you know, I've been on this huge, I don't know, I've been over the last few months, I've been looking at people that I'm trying to invite some of them on, because I'm kind of shifting how I, you know, not just the content that I, you know, because now that I am focusing more on like a podcast or something like that, I'm very curious about people who are quote unquote social media influencers. So over the next few months, those are the type of guests that I want to try to have on. I've been on like TikTok a lot, and it's like crazy how people are, you know, and there was an article I read about this guy created a meme page. And he was, you know, he built that thing up to, it's got like 5 million people on Instagram. He was able to sell that thing for like $75 million. He sold his meme account for $75 million.
Yeah. Let me just let you know, there are $75 million to say some people, like say a Saudi royalty, you know what I mean, is nothing. It is chump change. You know what I mean? $75 million is chump change to those guys. I mean, you might think, well, there's, you know, everybody, that's a lot of money. It's like, well, to us, it's an unprecedented amount of money. To somebody who, to a company that deals in billions every day, you know what I mean? Anything under 100 million is like under a fucking $100 to us. You know what I mean? So so they could spend money, and just, you know, the Saudi princes do this. They do this to buy technology. They do this to buy people to shut them up. They, you know what I mean? It's. I'm not saying this was a Saudi prince in this situation, but I'm just saying that sometimes these companies who do something like, especially like memes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes they're bought out to shut them down.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, yeah.
And that's just, so you know, that's That's why you'll have people who are professional trolls who want to build a troll audience so they can get bought out and go away, to go away. That is a real thing that really happens.
Well, I'm trying to think. What was the guy that the Tatiana McGrath? He was on Joe Rogan, the British guy, and I mean, he's he's got almost 500,000 people follow him on Twitter, and there's still people that don't realize that even though he's shown his face on camera, there are people that think Tatiana McGrath is a real person,
right?
And he'll post something spicy and in a trollish way, and people, I see so many. It was just a couple of days ago I saw someone and I was laughing. I was like, oh God, the guy didn't realize he was actually trying to argue with Tatiana McGrath, and people were like, dude, it's not real, it's a troll account, what are you doing? And he felt like an idiot, but I was like, wow. I couldn't. I mean, like I said, once he showed his face on camera, it's a man. Tatiana McGrath is not real, but this dude he figured something out, and it exploded, and he was able to build an audience on Twitter, and that, like I said, I find that kind of stuff fascinating. Or The Rock just tweeted out the other day that he just passed over 200 million followers on Instagram. He is the most followed male in the U.S. And the reason they had to say in the U.S. is because I think it's Cristiano Ronaldo actually has a few more followers than The Rock. But if you look on The Rock's Instagram versus his, because you can do Social Blade and compare the two,
right?
The Rock's engagement on his social media, although Cristiano doesn't sit there, he's not tweeting every day, he's not posting stuff every day. The Rock, I don't know if he has a team of people that are, because some of the stuff that he posts, he's got that tequila brand Terramana, which he's actually been advertising during the NBA finals. Yeah. And he posts, his posts are planned, and they say that if he partners with you, that like the company, like if he posts your stuff, you have to pay him like $500,000 to post.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, but when you look at the engagement on any of his posts, even the stuff, oh, I'm gonna post something with my new baby, oh, I'm gonna post something with my wife, okay, let me post my daughter or something like that. And you see, even on like a casual post like that, he'll get 14,000 comments on it. It's crazy. And I'm like, wow. Another one's Selena Gomez. She has incredible engagement on her, and I know she has over 100 million people following her. Kim Kardashian makes a ton of money on her Instagram, and her sisters do as well. It's interesting. Like I said, I'm fascinated by people who have seemed to figure out the algorithm. And we actually
here's the thing. Most people haven't figured out the algorithm. What they've done is they stumbled into something that works. Most people that are like for instance, the real obvious is attacking the simps. You know what I mean? So if you're a hot chick who has nice titties, a nice firm waist, a pretty face, and a big full booty, you can get a lot of followers really fast.
Oh yeah, cam girls, yeah. OnlyFans, direct you to my OnlyFans.
I even just Instagram. You know what I mean? Even if you want, and then Instagram, you can get a lot of sponsorship dollars to come down. Now, a lot of those girls who were doing that realized that when the COVID hit, the sponsorship dollars also sucked up because most of these companies were going down, and the first thing that everybody cuts off their budget is marketing money. You know what I mean? So a lot of their money gone out. So you had a rush of them go to OnlyFans and realized that OnlyFans, you can charge someone without even taking your clothes off any more than you're already doing on Instagram. You know what I mean? You can actually charge people to talk to you. So these guys will super simp. You know what I mean? So they will pay to say, hi, look at me. And then you're
absolutely right on that, because I'll see like a lot of these girls, because I'm an admitted pervert, and all the young ladies that I follow on the gram that be on there twerking and whatnot, they'll actually say, if you try to DM me and you're not one of my OnlyFans subscribers, I'm going to block you. So don't You know, and then they do other things like say you want to have a certain member rated. I'm trying to clean that up. If you want them to tell you how big something is, they'll rate it for like, oh, if you pay me $20 and I'll allow you to send me a pic of said member, and then I will rate it for you. And so and they're getting all kinds of people that are just sending them $20 and sending them the picture. So I was that's a hustle.
I'm just wondering how long that will go on, because Patreon was the place for that for a long time, and then Patreon shut everybody down.
Well, you still have she's an artist though, Sakima Chan. She's got insane. I think
but the difference is on Patreon they shut down the actual porn.
Yeah.
Like so, like on OnlyFans, most of the girls that are making it really big are either masturbating or they're having sex with their boyfriends, you know, or strange guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it at random? There are even some that like pick fans that are from their OnlyFans to invite to have sex with.
Yeah, so they definitely do that too. Oh, so trust me,
it makes more and more guys jump on their OnlyFans because for a chance to be invited to have sex with them. You know what I mean? So it's at some point OnlyFans is going to get hit for that, and then they're gonna cut them all off. But until then, it's like this business thing that I predicted a long time ago, back when all the porn websites were popping up everywhere. Like all these girls were having their own porn sites for the longest time. Danny's Hard Drive, and I mean, there's a fucking huge list.
I remember Danny's Hard Drive.
Yeah. It was these girls were having their own sites, and they were like sharing and coordinating, and they were organized by either a businesswoman or a businessman who was organizing these groups of sites. And these girls were making a lot of money, and they were all coordinating, and they were depending on your percentage and that kind of stuff. Right. Well, I was like, okay, well, you know what? The problem with that is that a lot of girls are flaky and unreliable. And I can see that being a problem. It's like, but at some point they're going to have a self-serve for the ambitious girls. You know what I mean? They're going to have a self-serve thing. And then, and then I thought Patreon was going to be it, but then Patreon changed the rules, and now OnlyFans came up and capitalized on the Patreon drop, and poof.
Yeah. OnlyFans is, although, what was it? Wasn't it Bella Thornton that, since we mentioned her earlier, but yeah, they said she made like $2 million from in 1 month on OnlyFans, like $2 million, and then apparently messed some things up for some of the other people that had been on OnlyFans for a while, and to the point where they actually had to change some of because they got a bunch of refund requests on Bella, and it was like it messed up some stuff. So I know OnlyFans had put out a statement saying that they were changing.
To my understanding, and again, I'm not like firsthand knowledge on this. To my understanding, what happened was she had a mess of people sign up because they thought she was going to have a sex tape on there.
Yeah.
And then and so once and she kind of even like didn't say there wasn't going to be. She kind of teased that there was more to come and that kind of stuff. So they hung out for a little bit, but then they all split. You know what I mean? When they realized it wasn't, and a lot of them, and a
it
lot
was like $200 to see certain things,
and a lot of them joined OnlyFans just for that. So then they sent the money back from OnlyFans from their bank. You know what I mean? They said, you know what? I don't want this purchase. Which anybody can do from your bank. You know what I mean? So it's. Yeah. And I think that's what I understand what happened, and OnlyFans was really upset because it was something like $1.2 million got refunded or some shit.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, yeah. And then she apologized because there were other creators on OnlyFans, and they were coming out going, why? I mean, they were actually showing stuff, and they were like, wow, this woman just messed up everything for all of us. And
well, it's because all the purchases got shut down. They shut down the purchases for a lot of accounts because they were afraid. They were like, okay, banking's fucking up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah. Oy. Oh,
I know, crazy shit.
Oh man. Yeah, this has been a good conversation. I think our
I do like hanging out with you, man. It's fun. We should do it more often. We're just busy fuckers.
Yeah. Truck dude, I got so much stuff. Like I got too many. Matter of fact, I gotta finish the script and do all this kind of stuff. I've got so much stuff I gotta do, man. it was like it's hard to find time to stream, but
Well, that's the problem. It's like I fucking have to find time to promote. I've noticed that like the book won't promote itself. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's like
unfortunately, yeah. Maybe you should clone yourself or something. That'll come. That'll come in the future. But I'm gonna load this up on my podcast and stuff there. So let me see. You'll be able to catch the audio from this at anchor.fm/Ikari Press. And if you are on one of the other streaming platforms like Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, just type in Ikari Press. This will come right up. Matter of fact, it will be up within the next hour, I guarantee, because I think this is a good conversation that we had. Also go to Indiegogo. Now, I want you to do this and check out Drew's book. It is called Captain Love, Rise of the Pirates. And matter of fact, now when you go, it's not LOVE. Go is Captain and then LUV. So if you're listening to the podcast and you're like, hey, I want to check out Drew's book, go to Indiegogo and type in Captain and then LUV. That way you'll be able to find it. Or you can just come to youtube.com/Ikari Press and find the video with Mr. Ish and myself here. And there is a link, of course, in the description. And I also, again, want to thank all the good folks over there on Planet EJOBN. I see some of them have been liking the video and all that. 264,000 strong over there. So
if you spell Captain Love wrong, it'll still come up on Indiegogo.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
good.
Also, you can go to captainlove.com, LUV, captainlove.com, and then the choices will be presented to you there.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, because I have a growing audience that has been listening to my stream. So I was like, they obviously cannot see you. So I wanted to make sure that I wanted to make sure that if they go, hey, let me find Captain Love, and I want to make sure they can find it. So
yeah, it didn't start showing up that way on the first campaign, but in the middle of the chapter 1 campaign, Indiegogo caught on to it and connected the LOVE to the LUV, and they, so it's like it's in their search matrix now.
Okay, good. Well,
yeah.
There you go. So, but yeah, go to Indiegogo and type in Captain Love, I guess either spelling, and it should come right up, and you can purchase Mr. Ish's wares. But Drew, let folks know how they can reach out to you there on the interwebs if they want to connect.
All right, so if you are on Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, it would be whatever that website is /The Drew Love, also spelled LUV, and that time it actually matters. And if you are on Facebook, you can find Captain Love by just searching out Captain Love. It'll come up really easily. And then my last name is EASH. So if you're trying to find me directly, it's just Drew Ish. That's going to be a pain in the ass. Just trust me. Search out Captain Love or The Drew Love on Instagram or YouTube or Twitter. So,
do you do any twerking on Instagram?
I do not twerk on Instagram. No. In fact, I almost never post on Instagram. It's shameful. I used to post a lot more. I don't get enough of response from my posts on Instagram to justify the time that it does to post something that is marketing wise. I know that it takes time to build that up, but
yeah, I've got over 11,000 people. That's my largest platform. Actually, I have over 11,000. I wish there was a way I could stream directly to Instagram. I've seen some softwares that allow you to do it, but Instagram's real funny about, and sometimes the streams get timed out and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, if there was a way I could stream directly to Instagram, I would love that, because
there is a way. There is a way. Okay, so you know how they have live streaming on Instagram where you can even share.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, they do have it. Now, but you can't do it from StreamYard the same way, but you can set up your computer to read your StreamYard feed. So whatever you're feeding, you can set it up as the camera. You know what I mean? You gotta install special software to do that.
Oh, okay.
Instead of it being the camera that comes out here, you're actually saying this feed, like OSB or something like that, is the camera, and so like whatever you're streaming can also go to Instagram.
And I know you can do it on, because I know Elliot Fernandez, he had Restream, and he had to set it up like that and all that. So Whew, but yeah, I would love to do that because I've got a lot of comic heads that follow me on the gram, and no twerking on the gram, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
But
come on, you've twerked once or twice.
only in private, only with someone I love, and but yeah, man. Oh yeah, let me get this one out the way. We are still promoting. It's in the description as well, but we are doing the pre-launch on Daym Drop Super Official. We also have the art contest going on, so that will give some lucky person the opportunity to actually get published in Daym Drops' comic. Just draw him like draw Daym Drops like fighting a three-headed hydra or something, whatever you're doing. And Daym will shout you out on his channel of over 1.3 million people, and you're going to get published in Super Official. You're going to get published. We want to see fan art of Daym doing crazy things. But daymcomic.com, Daym comic.com. And we've gotten like about 1,000 people so far that we've only been up a few days, and I mean they flooded, so we're very happy. And
he's got a heck of a fan base. I was checking out his YouTube channel just a second ago. So
he's and it took him a while to build that, but he's been killing the game. So we're getting excited for the launch of Super Official, which is again why I gotta finish it. We're gonna do a preview, and we're gonna give that out to everybody for free. So there's gonna be a preview of Super Official, and it's just gonna be 5 pages, and just because we don't want to give out too much, but a little preview of Super Official, and like I said, give it out, get a little taste, give it out to everybody, and then hopefully the visuals and everything. We've got obviously Kanan is on the visuals, so we'll be very strong there, I think. But as always, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right here on YouTube, all at Ikari Press and IkariPress.com takes you to Brand Way of the Gun. We are on the road to 31K, so I appreciate everyone that has backed Way of the Gun so far. And Drew, I'll give you the last word before I close this bad boy out.
Hey everybody, you can find me at those at the Drew Love on Twitter and Instagram, and also on youtube.com/the Drew Love. I do a Monday night horror talk stream and a Tuesday night comic stream, and then there's some other random streams that you can find at on that YouTube channel. Also on CG Horror would be the horror talk thing on Facebook, and it's also Indie Comics TV on Facebook. A lot of places you can find me. I need to make a centralized location for that. But if you're looking for Captain Love, you can go to captainlove.com, and that's LUV, and you will be able to find links to just about everything you're looking for there. So,
all right, Excelsior.